Welcome to another class of geology. So dear students, today we are going to learn about the respiratory system in human. So this respiratory system is useful for the process called respiration. What is meant by respiration? Respiration is oxidation of glucose to release energy. So the food we intake is digested and it is finally converted into glucose. That glucose in the cells, that glucose is broken down into carbon dioxide and water molecules. And in that process, energy is liberated in aerobic respiration. So aerobic respiration is a respiration in which oxygen is required. So in the presence of oxygen, food is oxidized and forms carbon dioxide and water molecules. In that process, energy is liberated in the form of ATP, and total number of ATP formed during aerobic respiration are 36 ATP. So in anaerobic respiration, so oxygen is not required to break down the glucose molecule. So it is broken down into either ethanol or lactic acid. So in bacteria and yeast, ethanol is formed, and in some muscles, lactic acid is formed as a result of anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration doesn't require oxygen. So the energy formed during anaerobic respiration is only 2 ATP. So there is a vast difference between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration in respect of energy liberation. Aerobic respiration liberates 36 ATP, anaerobic respiration liberates 2 ATP. So that's why the aerobic respiration is most efficient type of respiration. That's why all evolved animals choose the aerobic respiration. So a human being also follows the aerobic respiration. So for aerobic respiration, certain organs are required, and these organs are known as respiratory organs. And these respiratory organs are different in different animals. In human beings, the respiratory organs are a pair of lungs. So now we are going to study about the different parts present in the human respiratory system. Human respiratory system consists of one pair of external nostrils, so which are present in our face region. One pair of external nostrils which are the two openings of the nose, so external. So these can be seen. So these are present on the external side of the body. That's why these are known as external nostrils. And these pair of external nostrils leads into a chamber which is known as nasal chamber. So nasal chamber is the chamber which is separated from the buccal cavity by a palate. So nasal chamber is present above the buccal cavity, and it is separated from the buccal cavity by a palate. So palate separates the nasal chamber from the oral cavity. So this nasal chamber is divided into 3 regions. So vestibular region, respiratory region and olfactory region. So these are the 3 regions which are present in the nasal chamber. So first part is the vestibular region. So this region consists of hair and the mucus lining. Mucous membrane is present. So this hair and the mucous membrane catch the dust particles which enter into the nose through external nostrils. So the inhaled air, which consists of dust particles, are catched by the hair and the mucous membrane present in the vestibular region. So the inhaled air, which may contain dust particles, and those dust particles are catched by the vestibular region by the presence of hair. The hair acts as a filter and it removes the dust particles. Next region is the respiratory region. So this region is doesn't contain any hair, but it contains mucous membrane. So this respiratory region act as a conditioner So it conditions the air. It acts as a AC. So it conditions the air which is coming from outside. So it brings the air to 37 degrees centigrade. As the body temperature of human being is fixed, so we are the homeostatic organ, so the body temperature is fixed, that is 37 degrees centigrade. So this respiratory region brings the temperature of the inhaled air to 37 degrees centigrade. So that is the importance of respiratory region. And the third region or innermost region of nasal chamber is the olfactory region. So this olfactory region contains an epithelium which is known as olfactory epithelium. So this epithelium is innervated by a nerve which is known as olfactory nerve. So sensory nerve, the first cranial nerve, olfactory nerve, arises from the olfactory epithelium and it goes to the brain. So due to the presence of olfactory nerve, we can able to sense the smell of different food materials or different gases we inhale. So this is about the nasal chamber. Nasal chamber is divided into three regions: vestibular, respiratory and olfactory regions. So here you can remember three regions by a simple trick. So you have to remember VRO. VRO. So V means vestibular, R means respiratory, O means olfactory. So VRO means village revenue officer. If you remember village VRO, that is village revenue officer, then you usually easily memorize these three regions, that is vestibular, respiratory and the olfactory regions. So in the respiratory region, three bones are respiratory region, bones are present, twisted bones are present. These bones are known as concave. Twisted bones are present in the respiratory region and the bones are known as concave. Next, the nasal chamber opens into nasopharynx. So nasopharynx is a common opening for digestive tract and the respiratory tract. So the pharynx, that is a common passage for digestive and respiratory tracts. So nasopharynx opens into oropharynx and oropharynx opens into larynx through an opening which is known as glottis. Oropharynx opens into larynx through an opening which is known as glottis. So next, larynx. Larynx is also known as voice box because human beings produce voices. We are able to speak. We are able to make different noises. So that noise is produced by a apparatus which is known as larynx or otherwise voice box. So this larynx is supported by 9 cartilages. So the larynx, which is the starting part of the trachea, and it is supported by 9 cartilages. So this is very important for your NEET exam. So you have to remember all the 9 cartilages. So these 9 cartilages are, some are paired cartilages and some are unpaired cartilages. So these occur as a single entity and these cartilages occur as a paired structures. Thyroid cartilage, cricoid cartilage and epiglottis. These 3 are unpaired cartilages, and arytenoid cartilage, corniculate cartilage and cuneiform cartilage, these 3 are the paired cartilages. So the number is 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So total 9 cartilages support the larynx. So epiglottis. Epiglottis is attached to the thyroid on the ventral side. Epiglottis is attached to the thyroid on the ventral side, and this epiglottis is a leaf-like cartilage or a flap which covers the glottis, So epiglottis prevents the entry of food into larynx through glottis. Glottis means, so it covers the opening, that is a glottis, while we swallowing the food must enter into the esophagus. If food tries to enter into the trachea, it will creates a problem. That's why the epiglottis covers the glottis so that the food enters into esophagus and not into trachea. So that is the function of epiglottis. So epiglottis is very, very essential. Whenever we swallow, the glottis is closed by a flap-like cartilage which is known as epiglottis, and this epiglottis is attached to the thyroid cartilage on the ventral side. So next, this thyroid cartilage is a large cartilage among all these cartilages, and this thyroid cartilage on the ventral side has a prominence which is known as Adam's apple. So this prominence is clearly seen in males rather than females, because in males testosterone hormone is present. So that testosterone hormone is responsible for the Adam's protuberance of Adam's apple. So that is about Adam's apple. Next. So these three cartilages are present on the ventral side. So ventral side of the respiratory system, and these three, arytenoid cartilage, corniculate cartilage and cuneiform cartilage is present on the dorsal side of the larynx. So these are arytenoid cartilage is a pyramid-like cartilage, and corniculate cartilages are present on the corners of the arytenoid cartilage, and cuneiform cartilages are also present at the edges of the arytenoid cartilage. All these three cartilages are paired cartilages. So connecting thyroid and arytenoid cartilages, a pair of yellow elastic fibers are present, and these are known as vocal cords. So vocal cords are the elastic fiber structures. By the movement of these vocal cords, sound is produced. Whenever we inhale and exhale our gases, whenever we talk, the intake of air is different. With that different sounds are produced. So for the production of sound, vibration of vocal cords is very necessary. So these vocal cords are attached to thyroid and arytenoid cartilages. So vocal cords are thick and longer in males and produces low pitch voices, and in females vocal cords are thin and short and produces high pitch voices. So next, remoglottitis. The space between vocal cords and arytenoid cartilages is known as remoglottitis. The space between vocal cords and arytenoid cartilages is known as remoglottitis, and this remoglottitis is very important for your 2 marks question. So this is about the larynx. So the respiratory system. In the next class we learn about bronchi and trachea and lungs. So keep studying.